sunk an enemy destroyer.
Hey team, this is Ripper here. You guys are doing fantastic today. Got a fun video with the Druid, and then we'll probably talk about the Sherman as well. They're getting ready for the USS Hull, but as always, like, subscribe, bell button. We'll appreciate all the supporters of the channel. If you see value in what we're doing here, let us know in the comments below, or support, or anything that helps us out. And we can't thank you guys enough for being here to support the channel, grow the channel, learn ships, shoot ships, and having a blast making good friends at the same time. So let's get right to it. Yes, today is election day. Go out there, do your thing, and enjoy it. It is the time I'm recording right now. It is in the morning, the beginning of that time. And, of course, Boeing is probably settled to strike as well. As you guys have probably seen, if you didn't know, this the machinist at Boeing factory up in, I believe, Renton or wherever it is, the Boeing factory, somewhere up in Seattle, where I used to get stationed up there, but now their strike is over, so that's a good thing because now they're going to start producing Boeing aircraft, and that way that they start hiring more pilots, because a lot of the airlines weren't hiring because of the issue of not having enough planes. And of course, you don't have enough planes, you don't need as many pilots to fly them. You'll have an overabundance of them. But I digress. Hopefully this is a good thing, and we'll see how it goes. Enjoy your day. But let's get right to it. The Druid, my favorite destroyer, as you can see, most annoying destroyer that I think is in the game, because of the way the playstyle that I play it is pretty darn powerful as well. But it is pretty wild of what it can do and how it plays. But let's take a look at it. Actually, in arms race, it's even more overpowered, in my personal opinion. I'm sorry, I don't want to use overpowered. I just want to say powerful. Okay, because overpowered and broken can be used loosely, and I don't want to say that. I want to say it is very strong. A little bit better use of the word strong, but it is very, very powerful once you get into arms race, which is more of that arcadey kind of style of battle gameplay, where you start getting boosts and power-ups and things that makes your ship like a superhero at this point. But what am I doing right off the bat here? As a good destroyer player, I'm going out there and spotting. I'm really not doing too much. There really is no objective, really, to go out there and throw your ship away, too, because there are no cap points. There really are just these little power-ups here and there that kind of entice the destroyers and submarines or whatever that are small, nimble, and fast, agile, to actually move up and start capping those or taking those spots, as you can see right here. There's a small one who is just, man, really throwing himself against 3 destroyers right there, and that's exactly what it does. These engagements I do enjoy. Oh, look at this. All 3 destroyers are all bundled up together, and this is why I actually enjoy this mode, because it actually forces players, especially the destroyers, to actually move up and be a little bit more aggressive as opposed to being passive. Now, here we go. Yari right off the bat. Now, again, I am holding shots right here to kind of, because look, his guns are aiming in my direction, so as soon as I reveal my position, I'm going to get shot at. So I'm going to pop smoke, stay undetected. Now, I thought that I was going to at least have somebody spotting him for me, but unfortunately, I didn't. At least he got Citadel right off the bat from the Bungo. See, Bungo saying 33K off the Yari, and let's see, we spot him. Yep, he does. 33,000 right off the... That is exactly why we are good at spotting, and that's the role of a destroyer player. I'm holding my shots because I don't want to throw away, because as soon as I fire, I'm going to get revealed, and everybody's going to shoot at me. I know that. So why not just look? Nobody's shooting all the other guys in the back, so they're holding their shots really for that juicy destroyer opportunity. So I'm going to hold fire right now until I actually see an opportunity where I'm maybe in a more safe environment. Now, I'm noticing the Yamato here is actually pushing up. Now, good on the Yamato for actually playing the game, but unfortunately, the way the game is designed today, it doesn't reward pushing, especially in a non-secondary brawling kind of a ship like Yamato. So I'll give you an example of just the kind of firepower a Druid by himself can really do. And look, I'm just going to open up and just fire at the superstructure. Even though he's angled, these improved AP angles, or just shooting at the superstructure with this heavy AP or improved AP is really, really awesome with the Druid. And you know, I can really just take off chip damage here or there, and over time, it's a death by 1,000 paper cuts, and it really does play a significant role over the long run. And because this guy, he can't take back this damage unless he has a heal or so forth. And you notice we're just pummeling a bunch of stuff. Now, look, we are getting torped like crazy, so we also have to keep our hydro up to make sure that we're not going to take unsuspecting torpedo damage right off the bat. But just look at the amount of firepower that the Druid can provide. Ooh, here's a torpedo. You got a slam on the brakes, hard right turn. Again, always keeping your head on a swivel. I always zoom in with my right mouse button. Zoom out, zoom in, zoom out. And make sure you kind of get a scope of the battlefield and make sure that you're not taking unnecessary damage. Now watch this. Yamato's going to start turning a little bit more broadside to give us even more damage. So this is why it's going to be very, very detrimental to him. And look at this. Now we're going to start, instead of taking the 700, now we're taking 1,000 damage off of him every couple seconds. So, man, look at this. So watch his health just start taking an elevator leap all the way down to the ground floor. And just look at the power of the Druid. And this is exactly why. It's like a miniature Minotaur mini Minotaur, as we call it, and it's just devastating over long periods of time. And really, just look at the amount of damage you can really take off. I mean, I'm already at the 44,000 damage just off of one ship, and boom, he goes down. Bungo takes the death kill right off the bat. You know what? And let's have some fun right here. Let's take the Venezia. Now, normally I would not be shooting at a Venezia. He's got 15 guns of pure sap fury, and it is something you don't want to play with. But you know what? We're having fun right here, right? And we got full health, and we got a full health, and we got a reload buff. If you can't tell, ooh, HP. See, these buffs are just getting ridiculous. Now we got this is the one I want a lot. I want the acceleration of armament reload. I want to get my reload down as small as possible. As you can tell, we're getting about a 1.3 second reload on our guns. Watch, it gets better, ladies and gentlemen. It's gonna go even faster because we're in a ridiculous mode called arms race, and you keep getting more and more buffs. They stack on each other, and you keep getting more and more powerful. HP regeneration, which means we're also getting healed. And look at my HP now. Look, it's up to 31,700. I mean, that is ridiculous for a destroyer, especially the Druid. This is the bread and butter right here. We're just nose in. Nose in destroyers are very, very difficult to shoot, especially with, you know, sap guns, because a lot of those sap, it will angle and will deflect at certain angles. And again, it's really difficult to shoot a nose in destroyer. Now here, Gearing is starting to get a little upset. He's going to start opening up on us, but I guess he ran into our detection range. And just look at the amount of firepower that the Druid can really bear. I mean, this is unsustainable against a Gearing. And he's going to have to pay the price because guess what? Angling doesn't do crap against a Destroyer Druid. And here we go. And we get a reload buff speed. Good Destroyer play. Also nose into it a torpedo bow. You don't want to take unsuspecting torpedoes. And look at that. Nose in right there. Look at that. The brunt of all his guns really weren't able to do much to us because we were nose in against Venezia. So yeah, you got to make sure we didn't get torped by the Gearing, and also make sure you nose in on a Venezia. So that is good Destroyer gameplay right there. So make sure you last or mitigate damage to you can last the survival of the game. Now look at this. Even though he's undetected right here, I think he popped smoke. So nobody's spotting for him and nobody's spotting for us. So guess what? We're just going to lead him and see if we can get that final death blow. And boom, there it is. And we activate Cunningham. We get an extra consumable and all of our consumables at the bottom right there. 69,000 damage with 2 kills right now. And this is where it's going to get fun because look at the reload now. We got all 3 buffs for reload, which is good on you for the team. 1.1 second reload. So guess what's going to happen? Oh, the Libertad. What's so-called powerful, broken OP new battleship. That's the Pan American. That it just got released, so I'm going to look forward to doing a review on that. I'll get that and see how it is, but just look at the firepower. Let's see if I can make the minimap small. Look at the damage we're producing here. Holy crap, look at that. Are we getting down to a 0.9 second reload? Yeah, 0.9 second reload. This is ridiculous. 0.9 second reloads on the Druid. Really, really powerful. It'd be so powerful. If this was the standard reload on a Druid, oh man, would this thing be actually then I would say have to be broken at that point, and they would have to do something. But anyways, we're going to enjoy it right now with the arms race. This is why I like arms race. Oh, we lose a gun turret. That's the downside. These guns break very, very easily, so any kind of damage that just hits it direct on will just take out the guns. Again, like we said, right there. If I take damage, and these are secondary guns that he's firing that are blowing up my my guns, so not the greatest. So we're going to stop, slam on the brakes real quick. I mean, Libertard, I can see why it's so powerful. Secondary is doing that much damage, and boom, look at that. Guten Lao. Jeez, just taking them out. Oh, my goodness. Here we go. We got the unsuspecting GK right here, and we're going to see if we can get some nice damage on this guy. Just watch the firepower. He's at 83,000 health, okay? Let's see how much we can melt right now. We're getting, once we get that Fearless Brawler active, once we get spotted in 5 seconds here, we'll probably get even faster reload. Right now, we're at a 1.1 second reload. Look at that, 1,000 damage, 1,000 damage, 1,000 damage. Look at his HP, 40. He was at 83, remember? Now he's down to 36. I know he's getting shot at by other people, but look, the Druid, we're just a supplemental damage, okay? We're just helping our teammates out. We're not doing the bulk, but we are doing some damage. And just look at that. I mean, it is unsustainable. And boom, he goes down. Look at that. Ridiculous amount of firepower. So, man, Druid's so fun. And, man, it is ridiculously powerful in arms race, but we did a bulk of the damage right there. Look at that, 126,000 damage. We didn't do too much. We're just throwing out a lot of damage, a lot of lead. And number one, you see, I mean, we were just spotting. I mean, I believe we got majority of the points just by spotting. Yeah, there's spotting damage, potential damage, people shooting at us, but man, we did 126,000 damage. A lot of players were throwing a lot of hate out. Pretty wild. Let's take a look at now that this was just kind of like a bonus video just to have fun with the Druid, but my favorite. But let's talk about the Sherman and, you know, just to get ready, kind of the feel for the USS Hull that's coming out maybe in the next year or so, and see that. Let's try out the Sherman and how is it actually holding up today in 2024, and see if the worthwhile wait for the Hull will actually be worth it with bigger caliber guns, but same profile. All right, we're back here this time with the Forest Sherman, everybody's favorite rapid-fire sap-spilling kind of death machine here. But we're kind of playing the Sherman here to get ready for the eventual release of USS Hull, and I actually want to see how the Sherman is holding up here. Well, I mean, for those of you who don't know, the Sherman is this kind of a unique monstrosity where it's in the armory. It's kind of for that premium kind of ship. I believe it's still for coal here, but I know I've already done a review on it, and we'll just take a look at how it fares off on and how annoying it can be. Again, this is classified as one of the top annoying ships that I've said in the game. You just saw a game in the Druid, which you see how it can be very, very powerful and annoying. Again, if you can absorb a lot of damage, but also dishing out a lot of damage at the same time, you're classified in my book of 1 million potential damage and dishing out that much damage as annoying. So it is very strong, powerful. Now, here you can see right off the bat the downside of the Forest Sherman, and I don't believe the USS Hull will have this problem because they'll have, I think it said it had a 187-second turn time, which means that there's one torpedo launcher that on the USS Hull that will actually move around and turn, and that way you don't have to deal with these fixed arcs. So you can see right here, I have to turn the ship in order to aim the torpedoes, which is very, very annoying, but probably necessary to kind of tone down the firepower of the Sherman, because you can see what this thing can do. Now, right off the bat, you can see I'm just going to open up on this guy. Why? I love the Sherman so much for this reason, where I don't give a damn about concealment or whatever. I'm just going to start shooting, okay? And this is the problem. If you return fire, you're going to open yourself up to other enemy fire that you're not really worried about. See, look, so the Salem, and this is why I like the destroyer tactics, where the gunboat DD main tactic is really open fire, draw fire, and now the Salem is not looking at the other threats on the map, and you're going to see why this will be detrimental to him, because now he's more worried about me as opposed to worrying about outside threats, which then he lowers his guard down, and he's going to take unnecessary fire from other people. Meanwhile, I'm also going to switch to sap shells, and you can see 1.3 second reloads here on sap shells do a lot of damage, 2,700 damage right here, and let's just look. They're going to go right here. Angling won't do crap, guys. I mean, literally, look at that. 946, 499, 945, and just constant barrage of damage, and he can't do nothing but other than die. So that's the problem with that. And right there off the bat, he goes down. We take out a radar cruiser, and now the Austin will go in and take Charlie. And then I also have another problem here, is I have my RPF. This is why RPF is so good. You know why I take it on a Sherman? Normally, most people don't do it. I do it for situational awareness because I know there's a threat right here. See, I would rather have information rather than some other ability that's not that's more passive, because I like that this is constantly operating because I know where the threat is. I know, and I'm signaling, hey, my buddies, hey, there is a destroyer here, and it's probably most likely, as a good destroyer player analyzing the battlefield, it's a Shimakaze. Now, having a Shimakaze on your flank is buku bad, because now they can torp all your battleships and everybody. And my job is to protect my battleships, protect my destroyers. I don't want all this unnecessary torpedo damage coming at them. And me being in front of my battleships provides a threat for the Shimakaze, because he won't push in and use his concealment to run amok on our flank. So right now what we're doing is we're going to see if we can provide some suppressive fire on this Richelieu, just get as much damage off him as possible. He's probably going to make some mistakes, because he's getting under the threat of gunfire and fires, because, again, French battleships really do burn very well and also have very low armor. So we're going to just see if we can take it. Look, he's firing at us. See, any fire that we can take off our battleships is less fire on our friendlies, so they can have a nice, enjoyable day sailing unabated, and that way they can go in and dish out and actually have confidence to push in, because guess what? They're not getting shot at. See, a battleship will actually push up when they're not getting shot at for some ungodly reason. I don't know. Because the destroyer guy is helping you out, moving everybody forward, reducing the threat. And look, Richelieu's actually running away rather than brawling. So guess what? I hope my battleships, GK and Mecklenburg, can move up. Great job. So now that my battleships are finally moving up, I'm going to go in and attack the threat of the Sherman. So I'm calling out, and look, Mecklenburg's yelling at me for DD. Yeah, I know. That's the whole point. Thank God he's torping that direction. So, and again, I'm going to laugh at this Mecklenburg, because he's calling me what to do, move forward. But look what he does later on the map. Remember that, guys. Mecklenburg told me to move forward. Watch what he does. Anyways, we're going to go ahead and support the our buddies here. And, oh, there's the destroyer. See, what is our other role as a destroyer player? Eliminate the other enemy destroyers. So guess what we're going to do? We're going to go ahead and attack the Shimakaze. And this is why RPF is so critical, because now I actually have an idea of where he's going and where he's at. Now, I made a bad mistake here because I fired and revealed my position. Now, he gets a free shot at me for the next 20 seconds, okay? But as long as he's spotted by GK's Hydro, I can take as much damage as I can off of the Shimakaze, because I know he doesn't have any heals. Now, look, all the bad guys are shooting at me. Rather than shooting at my GK, Mecklenburg, Austin, whatever, they would rather shoot at me because why wouldn't they? I always taught that, hey, you eliminate the destroyer player, you're most likely to win the game. So obviously, I'm a destroyer player. I'm going to absorb the majority of the bulk of the damage, even from battleships. So you can see, look, they're all shooting at me. They would rather shoot at me than of the GK or anybody else behind me. And I'm actually taking damage for it. So, look, I'm up to 608,000 potential damage up here. See, that's good. If I can get to 1 million, I'm going to be bad, which means I'm literally the most annoying player on the team on this flank. So, right now, I'm going to get inside of smoke and see if we can push this Shimakaze out of the way. Meanwhile, Richelieu is probably going to try to cap Charlie, but don't worry. He's going to get focus fire down. Like, why not? So we're going to use the Shimakaze smoke. I love using free smoke. If you ever get a chance to do this as a gunboat DD main, use enemy smoke and try to get as much free damage as you can right here. Meanwhile, I keep the RPF off my nose, making sure I don't get torped by the Shimakaze unsuspecting torpedoes. We're going to stop firing here and see where he's at, and there he is. So, well within his detection range, and we're going to just use our front gun just to maintain visual damage. I have to keep nosed in towards him because he's running away. I want to keep that distance of spotting as close as I can and just use the front gun because I would rather have spotting on him rather than trying to take this kill because at least my GK secondaries will try to kill. So this is using your assets to your ability as opposed to being greedy and trying to lose the Shimakaze because I angled my ship away and gave up the spotting. So let's see if I can get the kill here. Help him out. Yep, there, I got it. Come on. Oh, come on, one more shell. And there we go. Okay, but we did our job. We destroyed a radar cruiser. We killed the Shimakaze player over here. And now our job is to survive, okay? Carrier does a bad drop right there. So now we're going to pop smoke and use our smoke to our ability right here. We don't want to take unnecessary damage at this point. And let's see what we can do. He's at 58,000 health on the FDG. And notice this FDG is going to get really pissed because why wouldn't he? There's nothing this battleship can do other than absorb this amount of damage. Look at the reload. 1.2 second reload. And this is why I love the Druid and the Sherman and these fast-firing gunboat DDs because they're so consistent and so powerful. I've always said persistence wins the game. If you can dish out non-stop fire for long periods of time that are accurate, consistent, and deadly, you will win any gunboat battle possible. And you know what? Skill, all of those skills, great. But I've seen many skillful players not employ their ships correctly. You just got to be very, very good at one little thing, and that is consistency, persistence, and that is just being a gunboat DD main. Just getting those shells on target, starting as many fires as possible. Notice the carrier is still going for me. Again, we're trying to hit. Look, Midway is always going for me because we are such a big distraction, and that's exactly why you want to be a good destroyer player. Be that big distraction. And there's nothing. The FGG is probably getting really frustrated here because there's nothing he can do. We've got the long American smokes that the Sherman's great for. Now, we are a big ship, okay, so we don't want to stay within his hydro. I know his hydro is probably around 5.5, so we'll probably have to get out of here. You got to dodge. Yeah, as soon as he gets within that hydro range, we're dead. Yep, there's the hydro range. Hydro is at 5.8? Oh, I didn't know that. Is that really true? I'll look it up in a minute, but guys, let me know what the hydro range on the FDG is, or is there hydro on the FDG? Now, the smoke is blocking my... Nobody's spotting for me. That's hilarious, isn't that? Nobody's spotting ever for the destroyer, so you're on your own when you're spotting. So we're going to have to figure out how to get out of here, mitigate damage once this carrier gets out of the way. Oh, here we go. When you use the sap shells to pummel it right into his structure, now the carrier's gone. Nobody's spotting for him, and he'll probably go down due to fires from us. And there it is, sap shell deadly. And he goes down, he calls me a scumbag. Yep, exactly. And I don't blame him. I mean, the Sherman is very, very powerful if you have spotting, you're in smoke, and nobody's killing you. And that's why the Sherman is so freaking powerful. And it's almost like a modern kind of a ship. Look at these guns. These guns are like really, really looking modern looking and really, really darn powerful. And again, why do I like the Sherman a lot? Because of that just the 1 second reload. If you can get a gunboat down to a 1 second reload, it's freaking powerful. Torpedoes are mediocre, but I have done devastating strikes with a torpedo. The fixed angles, they're 66 knots, 7.9 second reaction time. They do a lot of damage, but again, they only get 4 of them. So, and the reloads are 60 seconds, but they're really hard to aim. Everything else is kind of just whatever. The AA is okay. You can do some kind of damage. We did 19,000 damage on AA. The Hydra goes out to 5 kilometers, but again, you're not pushing or hunting down destroyers. It's really for situational awareness, and if you get that one-off chance that you're within that Shimakaze smoke range, where if I push that Shimakaze, if I had that Hydra, it would have been great, but those are rare occasions where you're actually pushing a destroyer. They're cool and all, but honestly, the bread and butter is the guns of this thing. 1 second reloads with the American smoke that lasts literally 130 seconds, so really freaking awesome in that regard. Now, USS Hull is coming out. We've already won this game, and I actually want to use this as a demonstration after I talk about this. But the USS Hull coming out, just again, the topic. Remind me, the topic is, look at this, 3 caps taken, and this is where the bulk of their team. Look, they still got half their team that are going to group in the back. Why even play this game then? Anyways, going back to the USS Hull coming out, it's going to be a Sherman Hull. If you want to take a look at it, the Sherman, it's going to look like this. The Sherman Hull. Pretty large for a kind of a destroyer gameplay. Really slow. You can see the top speed right here, 35 knots. Not the greatest, not the fastest. I think that's going to be like that. USS Hull will have an engine boost, though. That's going to be kind of like Kleber style, so maybe that might be interesting. The guns are 360 turrets, which they rotate all around, so you don't really have to worry about which guns side of the guns are facing or when you're turning left and right. They'll always be able to turn quickly to the target. I like that regard. I don't know if they're 360 turrets on the hull. Maybe they will be if the gun design will be the similar. But, man, I mean, look at these guns. These guns are only about 127 millimeters. So you're going up to, what, 203? So you're going to have Des Moines-style caliber guns on a ship like this. It's going to be freaking powerful, okay? Now, the reload will be, base reload will be 3 seconds. I think you could get it down to a 2-second reload, which is pretty darn strong to have Des Moines caliber guns that are 2-second reloads. So that's going to be wild right there. And, man, I'm going to be looking really, really forward to it. I hope that they will... it will be something that's affordable, and maybe if it's Research Bureau, that's why I'm grinding up Research Bureau points right now. I can't looking forward to get it, but the hull on the Sherman, very easy to hit, very easy to shoot at. The no heals here, I think the USS Hull will have a super heal on it from the last time I checked. So, again, you won't have smoke, but you'll have the heal. So, is that a good trade-off? I don't know. I mean, if you're going to do farming damage, you would like to have that smoke. But, again, if you're getting shot at the whole time, maybe having that heal is pretty interesting. So, it's going to be that open water gunboat DD main kind of style that I like to play. I will be doing a lot of that, so it's going to be really cool. Notice I built the guns out to 15.1, which is a very good, easy, comfortable range to shoot at. Anything past 15, the shells just get way too lofty and really hard to hit, even for battleships. So, again, look at this kind of gameplay style. I think the battleship gameplay is really awful nowadays, and you could see how all the battleships are yelling at me, calling me scumbags. But I think because they released the Libertad, whatever. Libertad is probably the answer to that passive gameplay where they want to give you a powerful battleship so you can push up and have fun. But I don't see many players doing that too much, just only in the Libertad if you can get it. Now that's out there to grind. But let's take a look at this game. 111,000 damage in a destroyer. Pretty darn awesome. We didn't start as many fires. Now, the Sherman does start a lot of fires. I do agree. I think the USS Hull, when it comes out, will start also a lot of fires. So that is going to be something to reckon with. But, again, I think this HE spamming kind of DD gunboat main is probably going to be prevalent and going to start wrecking battleships like crazy. I don't think battleships are going to have an easier time when they're going to release ships like this. Again, Sherman up there, top of the team right there, doing a lot of damage, a lot of important work. And let's take a look at what kind of work we did. There it is, 1 million potential damage across it. So I would classify this as annoying. A very powerful, annoying destroyer. Gunboat DD main. Not necessarily the gunboat DD hunting main that I want to do like in a Smallin or Vampire where you go around and just hunt destroyers down and kill them. Lucian's good at that as well, but you do a little bit of spotting damage. We did enough, mostly on the battleships and the cruise. Yep, we did a lot for where we literally dominated our side here just by spotting and destroying and keeping that destroyer at bay. 82,000 damage. SAP does a very we only hit 55 of them, but man, a lot of damage right there. And then the fires, of course, add on to that. So you got SAP and fires, both combinations very powerful. So I think, man, when the USS Hull comes out, it's going to be even worse, I believe, especially if you do the gameplay that I did right there, where I'm literally just sitting kind of medium range to long range and just spamming tons and tons of fire, drawing enemy fire. And again, you got those torpedoes that are at least in versatile launchers now, so it's going to be very strong. Looking forward to it. As always, if you guys see value in the channel, like, subscribe, button below. Appreciate all the support. As always, if you see me out there, make sure you say hi. And I hope you guys are stay safe. Be safe out there during Election Day, and I hope you guys are having fun. And until next time, I'll see you guys soon. Cheers.